Ooh lad, there's a title. Massive Cleavage vs. Zombies, Awesome Edition. This isn't the first time I played this game. I hit this up a few months back and played for a few deca minutes and left this review on Steam. It's bad, just really bad. If you want a TLDR of how this is gonna go, I still stand by that review. This may be Waifuware, but there's certainly no waifus here. This makes it onto the series by sheer virtue of its exploitive nature. Self-published by the developer Awesome Enterprises. No shit. First things first, we dig through the settings. I can appreciate the cheap joke of setting the graphics to most best. It's one of the 2 total laughs I got while playing through this game. Before even diving back into this, I decided to look through the credits. Cool enough, they have links to the social media of almost everybody who worked on this game. What I don't love is that none of these are actual clickable links. At the end of the credits, we see that most of the music is purchased off audio blocks and Getty Images. Probably not the best advertisement for the online service. I put this game on its easiest difficulty this time around just to see it through to the end, and this is what I experienced. The game begins and immediately sets up the story. You're at home looking in your fridge when, a zombie! Enter really slow QuickTime events to kill the zombie. With no explanation, you're now outside in your first tutorial. Left to move left, right to move right, up to attack high, down to attack low. This right here is 70% of the gameplay. Kill zombies long enough and the level just comes to a sudden stop. After beating the first level, we are greeted with some story sequences and... Oh my god! Dear God, I thought this game was trying to sell on sex appeal, at least in some regard. What the hell is this? Somehow, when making this facial expression, she loses her top teeth. This truly is a hideous-looking piece of art. Like the American Gothic was repainted by Vincent van Gogh after losing both of his hands and being rendered mentally handicapped and cross-eyed by a horse hoof to the back of the head. And what is up with these breasts? Do they just expect we're not going to look past the center of her cleavage to realize how misformed and deflated her flesh balloons are on the sides? The cutscene continues to show someone stealing her car. Cutscene ends, no explanation, you're back to killing waves of enemies that endlessly beeline toward you. Stage ends and Mr. Mexican, yes, that's really what they call him, pulls up in his orange convertible. You progress all animation manually, frame by frame. Apparently, Blondie thinks it's a good idea to go with him because he's funny and good looking, and serial killer rapists always have some physical deformity or Russian or Middle Eastern accent. Oh boy. Now we finally get the real story. Blondie left her house because she needs barbecue sauce. You head to the store, fight some enemies, now there's flying dogs. Hitboxes in this game are trash. If enemies are standing too close, attacking does basically nothing. One conversation about anal suppositories, 1 attempted rape, 2 murders, and a conversation about how Mexicans can't be named Caitlin later, Blondie and Mr. Mexican split up. With little explanation, they claim their people need them and they must go. Something about this whole exchange reminds me of The Simpsons when they kill off Poochie. If only these two died here and the game ended. But nope, instead they make plans to have sex when they meet up again later. Probably not surprising at this point, this game is basically just schlock. I get good writing can be hard, but writing this bad is really not hard to avoid. And nobody asked me what my excuse for my bad writing in this video is. Now the game adopts what makes up the remaining 30% of the game. This 30% is far better than the other 70. This 30% is at least a 0.5 out of 10 in terms of gameplay. The game is now a 3D overhead shooter. It's like they seen a game like Hotline Miami partway through development and realized that what they were making was shit, so they spliced in a bunch of levels like this. In a way, this works like a twin-stick shooter. WASD to move, left click to attack, right click to cycle weapons. Given you are a human person, this control scheme makes no sense and leads to impossible to pull off aiming, but hey, it works. If you try a melee attack while moving, the sound effect plays, but the animation is non-existent. If you're finding the outdoor levels are difficult at all, you can run around all the enemies and nothing will happen. Lighting here is starting to glitch out. If you die, you instantaneously start over at the beginning of the stage. That's an odd thing with this game. Most transitions are instantaneous. This is what it looks like when you complete one stage and the game loads the next. Jarring, right? Most of the game is like this. Basically, at this point, you just keep bouncing between these two gameplay types until the game ends. It all culminates to you bringing home the barbecue sauce. Mr. Mexican is already here at the house, then there's a cheap pun about eating Mexican food because they're actually all cannibals. 24 stages, approximately 40 minutes of gameplay, feels like 3 hours. It's a thoroughly terrible game. It did get one thing kind of right here at the end though. They state that the barbecue sauce she retrieved is the best barbecue sauce there is. This is clearly Bullseye brand Guinness flavored barbecue sauce, and yeah, it's pretty good. Honestly, it just feels like this game was made because somebody wanted to have a laugh and trigger them darn SJWs. And if that's the case, then sure, whatever, I don't particularly care. But you can trigger them with a good game. This game is just no good for anybody. I really don't understand why the reviews are mixed on Steam either. It should be overwhelmingly negative. Even at the new low price of $2.19 Canadian, it's just not worth the time. You're better off buying a cheap hamburger at McDonald's. Anyway, I think you guys get the gist of it. I hope for those of you who voted for this game, my suffering has brought you some form of solace. If not in this life, then perhaps the next. As always, folks, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, the second joke that I actually liked that got a laugh out of me was this one right here. Yeah, I get it. Okay, I have a lame sense of humor. If you guys like this video, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, links to socials are in the description, and I hope to see you back again for another one.